Aaron's Lucario, Maylene's Lucario, Riley's Lucario, Cameron's Lucario, Chad Dad, Cuckooey's Lucario, Ash's Lucario. Wait, what? Ash's Lucario? Yes, Ash's Lucario. A partnership 15 years in the making has finally come into full bloom. So, let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Charles. How are you today? This morning I woke up to find a very cute baby fish in my fish tank. Just look at this little guy, he's as cute as a Cubone. Anyways, as you may have heard, Ash Ketchum finally has his very own Lucario, and fans around the world are absolutely loving it. So today we will be walking through a quick recap of Ash's Lucario's journey from egg to Riolu to Lucario, taking a look at how Japanese viewers reacted to the emergence of Ash's new ace, and wrapping everything up with some closing thoughts on what this all means. So today will be a little bit more of a serious video, but if you want to have a chuckle, do check out my new meme series, or even the very recent Ash Ketchum's Dumbest Moments Ranked video. The tea is already on the table and they are just waiting for you to stop by, so why not go over and give them some love. Anyways, as always, today's chat will be a fun time, so kindly request your Machoke to cross-chop that like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to resurrect Sir Aaron, and let's jump right in. The long and short of Lucario's story within the anime thus far goes like this. Back in episode 21, a Lucario's egg found in the Sinnoh region was passed on to the Nurse Joy in Vermilion City, and we saw whatever mysterious creature was inside appear to sense Ash's aura as he battled nearby. Later, during a trip to the Pokémon Center, Ash is entrusted with the egg when Nurse Joy notices it responding to his presence. The following night, the egg hatches and a newborn Riolu runs off into the woods in search of the being that projected the aura it had felt while in the Pokémon Center, not realizing that that was our boy Ash's Nen being projected there. Of course, it gets slapped around like a limp duck out there in the woods until Ash comes to the rescue with Pikachu, at which point Riolu recognizes his aura and they team up to drive away an Onix. Back at the Pokémon Center, Riolu lets Ash catch it and a new friendship is born. Love it or hate it, Riolu quickly became the de facto star of Ash's team, getting an enormous amount of screen time at the expense of Dragonite, Gengar, and Farfetch'd, as it devoured Ash's attention to the point where Pikachu even ran away from him. And of course, Riolu dragged Ash's World Championship ranking into the dirt in order to give Riolu more battle experience and train him up into a champ. I think the majority of people found Riolu to be very cute and loved every second of it, but others wanted to stuff it into a bag full of rocks and throw it off a bridge. Because this new diva relegating the other fan favorites to the bench simply did not sit well with many people. But regardless, I think that few would argue that the result of all this training and affection was very much worthwhile when in episode 45, in the midst of Pokemon Journey's adaptation of The Darkest Day from the Pokemon Sword and Shield games, as Ash and an exhausted Pikachu were under fire and Riolu was on its back foot trying to ward off Elephant Man and Mr. Plant Ovaries over there, and stepping up to become able to bear its burden and protect its friends, Riolu finally evolved into Lucario, causing audiences to gush the wet juices of happiness and giving fans what they had been waiting for over 15 years. As soon as the shock wears off and Ash sees what has happened, he orders Lucario to use Vacuum Wave, to which Lucario, being the Aura Pokemon, communicates with Ash via its aura and asks to use Aura Sphere instead. Ash smiles, happily gives the order, and together they lay the smackdown on these two zoo animals. This was a historic moment in the anime, with Lucario being a fan favorite ever since it first debuted in 2006, and viewers being teased time and time again with multiple Lucarios making it into the anime but never into Ash's collection. Well, today is a new day. Ash has a Lucario, and the hype is making a vacuum wave across the internet. And I'm sure you've seen many excited comments from people in the English-speaking Pokemon community, so let's just step back for a moment and take a look at how people in the Japanese Pokemon community are reacting to this big evolution. Oh my god, the dream composition of Ash's Lucario and Go's Cinderace is just an hour away. The last hope. Lucario, Cinderace, Zacian, Zamazenta, Ash, Go. The future is on their shoulders. Otakus, watch today's episode of Pokemon. Ash finally gets his long-desired Lucario. Ah, Ash's Riolu evolved into Lucario. I'm so touched to see Lucario in Ash's possession at long last. Ash's Riolu evolved into Lucario? Handsome. I love it! Ash finally has a Lucario in his hands. This has to be the strongest party he's ever had. No jokes, I've been watching the Pokemon anime for the first time in 6 years. And with Ash's Riolu evolving into Lucario and Go's Reboot evolving into Cinderace, it may have been the most enjoyable episode I've seen. 2005. 15 years later, the Aura Hero lives on. My emotions are out of control. Me 15 years ago, this Lucario, even though it isn't Ash's Lucario, acts as if it is. Me now. Was that precognition? When I heard the voice, I thought, no way. But when I saw in the ending credits that Ash's Lucario was voiced by Namikawa-san, my tear glands let loose. Ash feeling the vibration when Lucario was still in an egg, returning to the master he fought together with in the past. When I think that Lucario may have been reborn, the emotions swell up. That is correct. Daisuke Namikawa actually came back to voice Ash's Lucario in this episode, the same voice actor who lent his talents to Aaron's Lucario way back in Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. So that is a very nice touch. Isn't it just too moving that Ash's Lucario is voiced by Namikawa, who also voiced Lucario in the movie? If the Aura Hero has indeed been reincarnated as Ash, as it seems, what a wild idea. Ash's Lucario, Daisuke Namikawa, Sir Aaron's Lucario has been reborn, hasn't it? This is intense. The Lucario who died in the movie that day is now in Ash's hands. I thought that the scene seemed to depict Lucario talking to Ash by way of aura, like in the movie when viewers couldn't understand Lucario's voice and May and Brock couldn't seem to hear it. It seems like they're showing us that only Ash can hear. I was hoping for quite some time that a Riolu, a reincarnation of Sir Aaron's Lucario, would come to Ash, and this Riolu was born from an egg, and hey, it's evolved. Ash commanding his own Lucario to use Aura Sphere, deeply moving. I am so moved that Ash has a Lucario and it calls back memories of the movie. Ash using a Lucario, it's emotional. It took a long time to make its way from the Aura Hero into Ash's hands. I am so happy to see Lucario and Ash stand together. Compared with a 120 centimeter Lucario, Ash's height must be 130 to 140 centimeters. What a short little shrimp our boy Ash is. I really like the silent exchange between Ash and Lucario. Not only Ash and Lucario, but also me as a viewer knew in an instant that it was time for Aurora Sphere. Ash finally has a Lucario, and Ms. Matsumoto's Aura Sphere commands were full of spirit. Intense. Back then, when I was watching the Diamond and Pearl anime, I thought Ash would get his own Lucario, and I was shocked he didn't. But seeing him get Lucario in today's anime really moved me. Just saying, but even if they tried to make the relationship between Ash and Lucario like the relationship between Ash and Ash Greninja, I don't think they can do anything beyond what they did with that relationship. I suppose X, Y, and Z was the pinnacle. It was great that the Sword and Shield collection was faithful to the original work, and more than anything, I thought that I was going to cry when Namikawa's Lucario fired off an Aura Sphere at Ash's command. When I was in 4th grade, I couldn't accept that Ash didn't get a Lucario. I was so disappointed. I want to tell myself back then that 15 years later, Satoshi finally got a Lucario. Ash's Lucario. A Pokemon fan's dream. Well, the comments go on and on. There were thousands of comments to take a look at, but I think you get the idea. People are really hyped about this whole Lucario thing, and I think it was really worth the wait. But what does this mean in the broader context of the anime? I'd say it means that the creators are, at least to some extent, listening to the fans' desires and making long-held dreams into reality, even if it does take a few years to get the job done. And Journeys is by no means my favorite Pokemon anime series, but it certainly has had its fair share of fan-pleasing moments. From Ash catching a Dragonite, to Korrina making a comeback, to the boys heading over to Alola, there has been a decent smattering of fan service. But as it is, Lucario stands apart from these other examples of fan service as an icon of fan service done right. As a blast from the past that has actually carried real weight in the story, rather than simply being a dog treat tossed out to appease fans and then not really doing anything for the story. So at least to me, Lucario embodies what Pokemon Journeys is supposed to be, a story made for fans both new and old, that embraces and realizes its fanbase's desires but doesn't do it cheaply. I just wish they would step things up to make a little bit more out of the other fan-pleasing moments, but what can you do? Either way, I am happy to see Lucario all the same, and just to wrap things up, 15 years of fan demand have finally come to fruition. Namikawa-san, who voiced Sir Aaron's Lucario way back in the 8th Pokemon movie, taking on the role was just such a nice touch that tipped the hat to long-term fans and added fuel to the theories that Ash's Lucario is a reincarnation of that very special Lucario of the past. And it seems that Ash's ace in Pokemon Journeys is finally ready to rumble. But more than anything, I'm really excited to see what's next. And also, who's next? Lucario, Dragonite, Gengar, Farfetch'd, Pikachu, which other Pokemon will join the team? I'm personally hoping that Corviknight will make its way into Ash's squad, but how about you? Who will be Ash's next catch? What are your thoughts on Ash's Lucario? And is Ash's Lucario indeed a reincarnation of that very special Lucario from the past? I'm curious what you think. Well, thank you for tuning in, everyone. We will wrap things up here for today, but I hope that you all have a very healthy, happy, and safe week. Do check out some of the other videos that have come out on the channel recently. Follow me over on Twitter at CharuSharu. And as always, let's chat.